Why should young American men and women be expected to give their lives in a war with China if people in Taiwan are not inclined to sacrifice their own lives? I don't agree with this prediction, but I'm not surprised that some experts would offer it. In my view, there are some significant differences in the two cases. First of all, the PRC's guiding principle for incorporating Taiwan remains peaceful reunification. Second, its near-term goal is not to compel unification, but to deter Taiwan independence and to reduce U.S. support for Taiwan. So as long as Taiwan shows restraint in its own actions, the probability of war is low, in my view. The PRC has alternatives to war on the one hand and accommodating the Tsai administration on the other. And the main one is what I call coercion without violence. And that's what they've been doing since 2016. Beijing has used an array of political, economic, diplomatic, information, cyber, and military tools to pressure Taiwan, and more important, to weaken the confidence of Taiwan people. This strategy may take a long time. It may not even work, but the risks of undertaking this strategy are a lot lower than going to war. Why I think this prediction is not correct is that we have to include the probability of US intervention in the fight. Actually, I'm not sure I would characterize the Tsai administration's policy in the way that you frame it, at least not at the beginning of the administration. I believe that President Tsai understood, once she was elected, the need to balance Taiwan's trade and investment relations with the mainland on the one hand, and its ties with the United States in the realm of security on the other. Unfortunately, Beijing was unwilling to give her the benefit of the doubt and tried to work with her and build trust. And there's a puzzling aspect. In my view, Chen Shui-bian was a lot more provocative of the PRC than President Tsai has been. On the other hand, Beijing has carried out its coercive policy much more strongly against the Tsai administration than against the Chen administration. If Beijing had been willing, even modestly, to accommodate to the Tsai administration, there might have been less need for President Tsai to tilt towards Washington. U.S. policy towards Taiwan since 2016 has been complex, but the point of departure for both the Trump and Biden administrations, President Tsai really has been trying to maintain the status quo, while Beijing is trying to change it through its campaign of coercion. So in response, Washington has sought to lend more support to Taiwan and to be more public about doing so. If the country being defended is quite confident that country A will come to its defense, there will naturally be the question, why should it spend resources to be ready for war? This is called the blank check problem. But you can turn the question around. Why should young American men and women be expected to give their lives in a war with China if people in Taiwan are not inclined to sacrifice their own lives? I do believe that Taiwan's leaders need to be clear-cut with the people about the threat that Taiwan faces and that an effective defense. So I think that for Taiwan, it would be far better to create larger, well-trained forces in being, so that Taiwan is ready to fight. And in order to deter the PRC from launching an attack in the first place. So I think it's good that Ukraine has focused the attention of Taiwan people on things like restoring conscription, lengthening periods of service, and what weapon systems best strengthen the defense. But the administration and Taiwan's democratic system still has to make difficult choices about how to use its resources. I think that one of the great advantages of reading is that it allows the reader to gain an in-depth understanding of a problem, much more in-depth than you get from the daily news or from TV or from social media. And the problems of the world today are very complex. Unless you have an in-depth understanding, you're not going to have a good view of how to address those problems. And so, it's very important to be open to reading all kinds of things for gaining greater understanding, for entertainment, and so on.